Vjerujem da ste prepoznali narednu temu, a to su pametni gradovi. Da li smo spremni za sve ono što nas čeka kada je riječ o novim izazovima, a posebno čast i zadovoljstvo je reći da je moderator ovog panela naš Frano. Ridjan, od kojeg sam ja naučila nakon toliko godina voditeljskog posla puno, pa vjerujem da ćete i vi na ovom panelu.
Hvala ti, ja sam u stvari Damir Muharemović, selam svima, ali evo, malo sam se ozlijedio putem.
Mislim da smo te prepoznali.
Onda dobro.
Na osnovi drugih panela. Dakle, naši panelisti su Georgi, Krastev.
Dobrodošao, brate. Welcome. Channel Business Manager, Southeast Europe, Milestone Systems. Još jedan iz Bugarske. You can sit here, it's not a problem. Potom.
Stjepan Surmanovic.
Territory Sales Manager, Southeast Europe, Access Communication. Pozdrav, Štef.
I Ridjan Mazel. Izvolite.
Monsieur Français, allez, Jean, tonton. Welcome. Billie Jean. Nice to have you. Bienvenue. S'il vous plaît.
Podium je vaš, kolega.
Da pače.
Ja idem malo još.
Odmorite,
Uživam da vas gledam.
Kontrolirajte ako sam nešto krivo rekao. Dečki, ovaj je na sigurnom kod mene, da ne brinete. To je to. Dear gentlemen, we have 35 minutes to talk about something you know a lot and something I wish to learn in this 35 minutes. Why not? Because the offer was great. I apologize for all you here inside. My dear colleague, Damir, who actually follows the security teams at Adria Security Guys, had some medical issues, so he asked me to jump in. And hopefully after this few years, I can actually say a few things about the sector you're joining me now. For the start, we have our dear friends from Canon Access and, of course, Milestone. So maybe I would like to ask you, Mr. Jean or Mr. Billie Jean, or however you prefer, because all the code names are included in the first question. You're representing Canon. Shall we start a little bit softly? What can you offer in the 1 to 2 minutes about Canon looking towards smart cities in upcoming challenges?
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
So thank you very much for invitation.
Anytime.
So just a quick word. So we are all employees of Canon Group, of Canoning. So Canoning is one of the leader imaging company in the world, Japanese company. We are a member, 3 of us, of 170,000 employees. Our turnover is around 27 billions of USD last year in 2023. I don't know this year.
Nice.
And we are leading imaging industry. So my colleagues from Milestone and Axis are much more well in the security imaging business, and they are experts. Of course, I'm expert in imaging business. But since a couple of years, or maybe 5-6 years, the security department of Canoning has been separated, and Axis and Milestone are now really the pillar, the two companies, also Briefcam inside of Canoning Group. So that's just what
that's a nice opening.
Yeah.
So the money is not a problem. Probably the policy or the politics is sometimes a problem because smart city cannot function between good cooperation. So, Georgi, can you tell us how can collaboration between private companies as Canon partners, we now witness that you have the solutions, but how does that affect on your work with government agencies? Can that be improved? Because without them, whatever you offer, it doesn't work because it's a decision, right?
Yeah, correct. Thank you. Can you hear me well? Thank you for inviting us again. I'm glad to speak about this interesting topic with my colleague. Of course, first challenge for us will be if we need to learn Japanese language because of the Canon Group, but hope it will not be mandatory.
Okay, hopefully, especially for hosts.
Don't worry, it's the same for
not mandatory.
You just do sun.
Regarding the agencies and how it's working with private and government, yes, you're correct. It's a lot of challenges that we face, and not only we, I guess, colleagues and other companies who is outside also. Cities becomes more and more sophisticated, and actually they become more interactive, including a lot of type of devices, a lot of type of artificial intelligence, let's say on this way, sensors, etc. And it means it's a bottlenecks, and it is quiet, let's say, open and doors for the cyber attacks, for example, or this is something that we need to consider, and the governments and especially the city authorities need to work with the companies who develop strategy in this area of the business. Of course, collaboration also need to happen on different levels, but let's say the most important, what it's regarding to our experience, this is the let's say, where is the vision of the politics, where the authority of the city wants to develop the city, in which direction, what they want to develop, how they wants to transfer and change this city from normal to the smart city. Working in this direction, the authorities need to collaborate with the companies who develop and delivering, let's say, the environment, the network environment, because all of our products need network environment. Then they need to collaborate with company like our company, which delivered a solution working with this environment. Last but not least, in the city authorities, government authorities, they need to find a way how to invest in education, working with university, preparing the young people from the new technology, and when looking for company like ours to invest in education, of course. And then if we together preparing the youngest people, they also can the city authority and government, then they can rely and use these young people for let's say, to hire them, and that then it will be easy to utilize. And of course, something that I believe my colleague also will agree with us, with me, is this is the POC project. This is something that for us is something interest. I guess most of the colleagues also do this. The POC project allows to a city authority to understand more, and where is the bottlenecks, how to improve the workflow, and this is what we do.
What do you do now? Now, sometimes we always come to the summit. Stjepan, you are a group, you offer solutions together. Your competitors are also here. Smart solutions are now everywhere, but maybe I would like to ask you about the standards. Sometimes when we people who are not in the industry, when we watch the news or something, we always are asked about, I don't know, public procurement. Should there be more standardized? What about price dumping? What about, I know you, you know me, you do this, you do that. Is that something which makes problems in your industry?
Well, thank you. It's a very valid question, so thank you very much for placing it. What we see in general is that there is a same thing very much in common to all the countries where I am managing the region. So starting from Slovenia up north to Greece in the south and Bulgaria in the east, one thing is in common, and that is that the cheapest price wins.
Okay.
And when you have a tender where the only requirement or prerequisite is who is the cheapest, then the setup is totally wrong.
Totally wrong.
It's not going to bring any additional value. Well, there were some attempts in Croatia to diversify this, and not only to make price as the only factor, but in the end of the day, still the difference was such small that still the price will determine the winner.
Okay.
And then when you think about it, what does it mean? That will it guarantee the quality? Is the end user really going to get what they intended? Because the whole channel would like to, in the end of the day, be happy. That's the bottom line. Money is involved. It's always like that.
Always money,
we are living in this world. But are people happy? Are integrators happy with what they are delivering? Because maybe they will be forced to offer something cheap in order to meet the numbers and letters, which are meaningless. which are just written on a tender without any bigger mean, or is the end customer in the end of the day going to be happy with what they receive? Because what we have right now is made to offer low quality tender in the end of the day. It depends. It can go back and forward, left and right, but usually it is like that, and people are competing. Another problem which integrators are opposing on themselves is that, and I hear it very often in the market, they are basically offering free design. I'm going to offer you free design, and then I have expectation from you that you will help me, to win something, which is also wrong. It's something you shouldn't be expecting. And if it happens that this company will still win, if the end customer will not play out some other game, then basically the integrator might come to us and say, hey, I need a huge discount because I gave them the free design. So why did you give the free design?
So actually,
it's
you
a problem
pay
for
the
everyone.
design in the end of the day.
Exactly. And now they need to fit into budget, including the project design, which is wrong. The setup is wrong. So the quality is definitely not ensured with the current setup, and the trends are so-so. What we would like to get is much more. Of course, vendors have to play a big role as well. Processes, everything has to be in place, but also you can have the best product in the world if there is no support. The whole channel should have the common goal, the common aim, and that is to offer, in the end of the day, something that is going to be perceived by the public, by the community, by the end customer, something which is good if we are speaking about a smart city. What we are saying from the European perspective, the European Union is now placing NIS2, EU NIS2 standard, which will basically ensure up to some level that cybersecurity is met. But not only this, also other quality factors will be influenced by this as well, which is a very good step. And finally, somebody is thinking about it, not only for critical infrastructure, not only for industry, but also for other government entities and important bodies.
So at least we have something all together. When you start from Slovenia, everything goes to the south, the alarm goes on, references are not important anymore, nothing is important. Cheapest solution is not the best solutions we know. But Jean, we have another problem, especially in this part of the world, and that is infrastructure problems for the cities. Okay, we decided on a policy level, okay, we need a smart city, we need better solutions, but then we challenge and we fail on infrastructures. How is implementing smart cities technologies can overcome infrastructure problems? Do you have solutions?
Yeah, so we don't have solution. Something good, I mean, to solve everything, we don't have solution because it is something very wide. But there is a good definition now, there is a need of smart city, okay? Population growing, human need, let's say, connectivity or communication and connectivity for human are needed more and more, and population growing everywhere. But infrastructure is having a lot of, let's say, brack, okay, in between. Like long process for tender, for example. We were discussing about it. Stjepan was saying, now solution designing free of charge. Okay, so it means the consultant that used to be in the center of the design now, okay, we give the integrator will make it with the brand, everything fine. So, and all in all, everything is taking longer time. The more the infrastructure and the solution for the infrastructure are heavy, more process are complicated, taking time, etc., etc. So, but the need is there, and somehow smart city need to be implemented everywhere, from Dubai to a small village in south of Italy, for security purpose, for wasting, for connectivity that's needed. And as Canon, we are there to support this process. But that's a very good tagline. So in between, it's about tender, it's about alignment between private sector and government. And yeah, everybody has to understand the direction and the need of smart cities from small to big.
We have so now many problems, tender problems, problems with dumping, with somebody taking solutions which are maybe in some problem. Now I want to ask you, Georgi, we have another big problem, that's integration. If you have solutions from many providers who are cheaper, they're not maybe combined and then on a good path as you in Canon Group are. So I would just like to ask you, and Milestone company, how do you contribute to that part of integration of smart city solutions, especially in public part of safety and security?
It is a challenge not only for the city, it's a challenge for anyone who wants to integrate different products,
Okay.
different vendors, for example, or different analytics and workflows, even different subsystems in which is part of some big system. So that's why we take, if we're talking about a city, each probably, or maybe we can, considering that in each city, it's no matter of the size of the city, we have a different verticals, let's say, which are interesting, different, and each vertical has their own problem. Now, in these days, artificial intelligence, the colleagues before us talking about artificial intelligence, also the colleagues here also has a solution in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, now popular words is Internet of the Things, sensors, all these different types of generating of data need to be unified or collecting or integrated between them. This is the role of the Milestone. And 25 years ago, when the company was established and start working, we start working on the VMS market like open platform, and we continue working like open platform. What does it mean? It's mean we're ready to integrate and be to act like a bridge between such so many different integrator analytics vendors, or even so many different subsystems in one, which is part of one big system. So this is how we face these challenges. So in fact, using the Milestone like a VMS and data management platform, actually we're solving the problem with integration between different products and artificial intelligence. It's this is how we fight with this.
Okay, so the fight is on. They say, but it's not only about the fight. You already know that without data, there's nothing you can do with or without AI, without learning. But actually, I would like now to know, or if you can, Stjepan, inform us, data is everything for the future. So can you spot some differences between using your quality data in smart cities before and after your solutions? Just to share some info with us, that would be nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Also valid question. Yeah, data, definitely, by far, but also as I was saying, the use case. There is amazing story that I always like to tell with big delight, because as I was saying, it's not only to do something, but to create something extremely useful. So we all know here in our region that it's extremely seismically prone, right? We have earthquakes here. So do Middle and South Americas as well. It's just that they have larger magnitudes. And the biggest difference is that in Middle and South America, the earthquake will appear on a much larger depth than here. Here we have on smaller depths earthquakes. Now the thing is that it's totally impossible to predict earthquakes. But since the earthquakes in that area, especially around Mexico City, are happening on large depths, they can have up to 60-second early earthquake warning system. And there was a project which started with analog audio devices, right? What they figured out after they commissioned the system on a city scale of Mexico City, scope, that the latency, the delay in this warning system was 25 seconds. That's 25 seconds taken from the 60 seconds that people have the time to safely evacuate and get on safety, right? After we implemented the network audio system, the latency was reduced to 2 seconds. Now I'm asking you, coming back to the tender question, where is the value? You know, this was the cheapest price, but then they bought twice. Not only this, they bought cabling, they bought services, they bought every single thing. In the end of the day, the more quality solution won, prevailed, because this is what the public need. It's about human lives, right?
Yeah.
And here is where it's extremely visible. John was saying about everybody is correlating smart cities these days to metropolitan areas, like huge things. And it is, of course, like that. But we also discovered, also as John was saying, small communities. There, you know, everybody knows each other. You come to a small Croatian holiday place, you know, usually they know each other. And they will start to talk. Once you implement the security system there will be a guy coming to the city asking, hey, why do you want to record me? You know, we know each other. What do you want to know? You know, it's not good to record me. I don't want this. But after a period of time, the same person will come and say, hey, somebody stole my bike. Can you have a look? I saw a camera there. Can you please have a look? I would like to know, is it my neighbor or who was it? You know, and the community starts to somehow live and you know, correspond to the system that is there. The main challenge is to overcome the obstacle and burden that it's placed there to secure, to monitor someone. You know, to monitor someone is the human first reaction when you see a camera. They want to see me. But if you have nothing to hide, then it can only be beneficial. It's the foundation to establish things. And after this, once the community accepts it, once the city starts to communicate, then we can speak about implementation, the processes. The idea behind is that there has to be a communication between the city and the community for the smart city project to live. It's basically essential. Now, you were asking also about some numbers. Usually, when we implement our security systems, not only security but also safety and optimization of traffic flow and everything, because again, these small communities will be overrun and jammed, especially during the season. You know, you have more tourists than the locals, right? They want to know and understand how to better manage this current situation where they are in, which is difficult. Once we implement these kind of systems, we actually see that the crime rates are going up. Why? Because now you are actually able to identify and detect problems which were not detectable before or were not reported by the people. Some crimes are simply not reported. People are either being ashamed, they don't want to admit something wrong happened, and they are never reported. Originally, the crime rate will go up, depending again on the community, the area where we are implementing the system. But over the course of time, this will then stabilize. And if the processes are there, if everybody working on the project is doing the job, then we see that it will go down over the course of time.
So actually, you see the difference after implementation if you prepare the people who can use it later on. I have the same situation in my neighborhood. I put the cameras. Now everybody asks me, "Oh, there was a car accident. Can you just look around?" I said, "But you were first very eager for me to remove it because I was recording you," which is always, it's always like that.
The best solution for small communities is this is the grandmothers who's sitting in front of the house.
Yes, in this part of Europe, we have some better solutions than smart cameras.
Best connectivity ever as well.
Best video surveillance.
Video surveillance was actually invented in Southeast Europe by grandmas and grandpas on the window. But I would like to ask you, Jean, we have 12 minutes, so we will fast forward to solutions you offer. But I just wanted to ask you about the balancing this innovating stuff we all offer. And there is always somebody talking about cybersecurity, privacy issues. How can you deal with it?
So that was, thank you really very much, because that was for me the best question I've seen to me. So very simple. Milestone, Axis, Canon, BriefCam, Canon Medical, no compromise. Okay, this is our word. We have a balance, as you say, between innovation and technology and yeah, I don't know, any leak or security leak, or we are not compromising. And how we are not compromising is we have, and I think that's the same for you guys, we have in and out solution.
Okay.
In and out ecosystem, in and out solution. And when I say this, it's you want security of your technology, of your network, then it's about component and security of component. At Canon Group, we are doing everything from lens, processor, sensor, cabling. We are producing our semiconductors. We have, maybe nobody knows that, but or we are selling a semiconductor building machine. So we believe in a complete in-house
production solution.
From R&D to even sales and marketing. We are not outsourcing. So from beginning to the end, this is inside Canon, and this is how we do not make any compromise in security, but also in our sustainability approach.
Okay, so that's like we say, key in your hands.
Yes.
Use us, we have the solution, no problems, no interruptions, which is always nice to hear, especially nowadays, because sometimes we're very frightened because a guy or a kid can already do with some little bit of magic, and everybody's now, what about security? But it's not actually about security, it's about everyday living. So like you ask you, Stjepan, your network of cameras can actually provide something which is critically important for Zagreb, Sarajevo, Belgrade, and that's reducing traffic jams and other public problems. Can you tell us how your camera networks work in public environments and traffic safety? Can we use it to apprehend not waiting 2 hours in the same street for 11 days in a row?
Definitely, but you got it right. Before, you actually had the need to simply buy a license for a specific scenario.
Yeah.
I want to do line crossing or car counting. I want to identify faces. I want to do specific activity. And you basically did it on a server level. Now we can proudly basically say that all access cameras ranging from the beginning, like the lower classes to the most quality products, are featuring AI, artificial intelligence, on a chip level. Because now there is this feature enabled. Basically, what you do everything on the camera itself, thus transforming the camera towards the visual sensor. It's no longer just a camera. And basically, with AI on board, what you are able to do, you are no longer dependent on the specific use case that you have, but instead, you can configure the scene as per your requirements.
Okay.
There are advanced scene configurations where the AI engine will actually tell you, this is a person running in the scene, or this is a cat, or this is a specific type of vehicle. It's, I don't know, or not to name it or promote it. This is specific brand, make and model of a vehicle. And this is the license plate of it. Everything from the same scenario, from the same unit with the same license. Now we have these scenarios. Once you have this, then basically you are locked only to your imagination. And basically what you have the proper tool where you can actually do a tailor-made solution for the city request that they have. So I have a bus station, the bus is arriving there, but usually the cars are driving all around. And you can easily draw a scenario. If there is a bus, if the people are leaving the bus, and if there are cars in the area, this is alarm scenario. Something has to happen. So what we did, we understand that we detected object class as a bus, we detected object class as a human being, and we detected another car and classified it. Once you understand the scene, then you basically draw on the scene. And once you gather all the things inside, then you basically have data and something we call metadata. So what you do with the metadata, basically you take it from the unit, from the edge itself. We are not speaking about the server at this point in any case. Everything is still on the camera and all the processes and everything. And then we are basically sending it to the center platforms to management. It's very easy also to transit to cloud, or it can be still on premise, which is preferred in our area. So what do we do with the data and metadata? I guess Milestone will also be able to explain it.
to use it even much more. So, Georgi, we heard about your VMS, and it really enhances the real-time solutions and monitoring. Can you tell us, is the AI and metadata, which Stjepan said, useful for the open solution and platform like yours?
Correct. Exactly. This is what Stjepan says. We're using, because what is actually AI? This is predefined some rules, as he mentioned, for example, for recognize person from cat, or recognize the bus, or whatever, is depend of the rule. So you create some rule based on the AI, and when this workflow or rule is changed, then the AI, the artificial intelligence or analytics, as we said, is make some alarm, and this alarm should be taken from some system like Milestone. And the most important is what if scenario. Then we will take this alarm, but then what will happen? So in fact, artificial intelligence is something that help on the operators, help on the authorities, because you start with the traffic jam, help the authorities to use different rules, and help them to take the decision when these rules are changed or broken, or that something's happened into the system. And so when Stjepan says that they're working, they have the edge analytics. Yes, we can work with two type of analytics. It can be server based, or it can be in case of Axis
At the premises, right.
install it into the camera. And the added value here of the platform like Milestone is the bridge and that we build between different subsystems, as I mentioned, and then the most important, the decision that going to be taken based on this artificial intelligence rules, alarms, or help to the which we added into the system and help to the operators.
Okay, so a few months more, and then the computers will do their job because they will start learning by themselves. So you need to improve something new with the AI, which is always interesting. 4 minutes we have, guys. So let's rush up a bit. I would like to ask you, Jean. It's always nice to work in big cities where everything is nice, the internet is good. What are the solutions for the low signal locations? Do you have any at Canon for the rural areas? Because this part of the world has a lot of rural areas.
Yeah, so very short, 1 minute, because I think my colleagues are much more interested on this topic. From our side, as Canon, we also take in consideration offline solution. I had that situation, also cases where some police in rural area where needed some low light security camera. With some analytics behind, but no network available. And the mobility of the technical team, it was not possible to have any network. So I think for rural area, we have also to push government, of course, to develop small smart city, big, like I was mentioning at the beginning. Okay. But this is also on us to have also some availability for offline solution when connectivity is not so easy. So that's also on our side. Yeah.
So you can provide if we need, but small smart solution is always
small
something.
Small ecosystems. Yeah.
So, but actually, then the small ecosystems can give data to bigger cities, so they could actually make small ecosystems inside the big cities, so the neighborhoods could work. But then I always ask a question because I know how the problem is for us who just use computers, and it's sometimes very hard. Stjepan, how can we offer or improve the efficiency of the surveillance without overburdening the central systems? Because then the central systems are like, I have to breathe. It's too much for me. Is it possible, actually, because of so many questions more? I need this, I need this, I need that, I need this.
Exactly. But you described it well. This is exactly what is happening in the central systems once you have a bottom neck, because then actually what you have to do, you have to spend lots of money on electricity and heating, which people are usually forgetting about it, but also storage, also amount of hardware needed there.
Oh, yeah.
So many things. But the city will, in the end of the day, be very much interested into total cost of ownership and the return of investment. Because if they investment lots of money in the original system, which they do, they will be asking questions, okay, so how can I benefit from it? And if the system is properly placed, then it will actually earn money to the city back.
Okay.
The community will accept it in the end of the day. Okay, yes, there could be fines, but the fines will be paid. Some people will be unhappy, but they will. It's a corrective method, People will start to behave. And what we observe, once we come from our region to, I don't know, Vienna or some, which we perceive as a cultural place, everybody is behaving nice. Ooh, I would like us to be like Vienna. Yeah, okay, we have to have certain steps in order to be there, obviously, right? And it goes like that. So once the city has the chance actually to offload the network infrastructure, the server infrastructure and everything by utilizing these visual sensors that I described, then basically the activity is ongoing there. There is no need for additional industrial servers there. The camera is basically acting as a server and IoT device, which Georgi mentioned. So it is also able to connect analog, not so smart things around it. It's truly IoT edge visual sensor, which is acting like a server and also collecting the data from the real environment without the data being compressed. Usually you send the data to server, compressed data, which is already changed.
Yes.
The quality is lower. But now what is coming to a visual sensor, just like it's coming to your eye, is perceived by the unit itself, thanks to advanced processes within the unit and the AI. So what you are doing, you are generating data based on real, untempered data coming from the environment and then sending it forward. And then you can send the video stream or you don't have to send it at all. You can just send the kilobits of data to somewhere because everything is processed right there. So for us, it is basically very, very interesting way to go. In fact, in Axis, we are doing only that. That's our only way to go. But of course, market is something which is determining what will the future bring.
Okay, so we mentioned few important letters: IoT, AI, VMS, all shortcuts that can be found on your booth and talk about later on for the smart city solutions. Last question goes to all three of you because you're part of the group, and I would like you to tell us for the end the upcoming technologies or trends, because in your industry there are also trends. Years ago it was only give me a camera to count the traffic of the bicycles. Now, okay, can you recognize the faces? Can you give me alarms in advance? Can you use AI? What is the next trend that you predict in Canoning?
In Canon, this is a super high resolution sensor. Okay. Now we are developing sensor for 250 megapixel. So it's 125 times more than Full HD. So, and I think just to jump on Stjepan, it's really, as you see, so high resolution, you take one photo or one image and you can zoom in like at the infinite. So it reduces the data storage, the number of frames per second. And so we are going really in high resolution, minimizing impact on environment in our research. Very important.
So more pixels, more sustainability, access. What is a new trend in your networking?
Yeah, definitely. We see that things are going to be more autonomous. We have in Croatia Rimac speaking, and on global level, this is Elon Musk speaking about smart taxis, things that will be automated. Once you figure out where this is heading, then you're coming back to this visual sensor that has to identify things. If this really taxi is going to be driving, it has to be able to right there on the spot communicate with traffic signs, with people on the pedestrian crossings and everything, and bring decisions immediately, right? For us, autonomous vehicles, autonomous machines, autonomous devices within the especially urban city environment, but others as well, as we were discussing, it's going to be more and more visible. But what you were saying, Frano, I don't think that we will ever come to the point, I hope not, that we will simply allow everything to the AI. Okay, you are in control.
Thank you.
No, it is just a tool for us that we can utilize in a smart way.
In a smart way, yeah. To use a smarter guy to take all our knowledge and to be quicker at least. Georgi, for the end, can you be more open with the open platform for all the questions they ask you?
This is the way we're working, to be more open for the open platform. But the colleagues here, they push us because they can push like in the good meaning of these words, because company like Axis, they focus, they want to develop more different and sophisticated solutions, but we need to be integrated and we need to work with this. And as you mentioned, the IoT is something that we also need to find a place in our open platform. Artificial intelligence, integration with different type of storage, fast growing the data. We need to meet these challenges. Of course, let's not forget software as a service and cloud. This is something that outside the many companies talking about this. So in some cases they are successful, in some need to be improved, but it's a future, and of course we don't want to be behind. We just, like anytime, we just want to be sharp on this. So this is areas that we also focus together with a colleague here.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being open as it can be. Thanks for some new solutions that you offer. And hopefully soon we will actually all enjoy the smart cities, because the smart city is for, they say, smart people. Even sometimes we look dumb, especially when we have solutions in front of our eyes. So, molim vas jedan veliki pljesak za moje goste. One grand applause for our guests at this panel. You're free to go to your booth. Hope to see you again. Merci beaucoup pour ça. Hvala, dragi, uživajte ostatku dana.